Hello and welcome to another video of Standard 6th English, the Honeysuckle book. Today we will look at Unit 5 poem Where Do All the Teachers Go? It is written by Peter Dixon. Before we read, for a little child, a teacher is special. It is difficult for a small child to think that his or her teacher is also a common or an ordinary man or woman living around him or her. So, children, when we were also very small, we used to think that our teachers are almost like gods. Okay, they are very special people, and we used to really worship them, respect them a lot, and we were very interested to know where they lived, what they ate, what they wore, how they were when they were little. So, when we were small, we used to think about all those things about our teachers. So, it is a general tendency of small children to think about their teachers very differently, and they don't consider or think about their teachers as common people, but they think that their teachers are very special and they are not like common men. Okay, that is why the children, they are very eager, curious, very interested to know the life of their teachers. So the child is very curious to know every detail about his teacher. The child has lots of questions to ask about the teacher. The child wonders if his teacher also behaves like ordinary people and does other things like ordinary people. So that is what I just told you. The child, he is very interested to know about the life of the teacher, and he also wonders and thinks that if his teacher behaves like any ordinary man or does other things like other ordinary people. So this poem talks about a child and his interest to know about his teacher's life. Okay, so let us read the poem to find out what questions does the child have in mind regarding his teacher. First of all, let us read the poem. Where do all the teachers go when it's 4 o'clock? Do they live in houses and do they wash their socks? Do they wear pajamas and do they watch TV? And do they pick their noses the same as you and me? Do they live with other people, have their mums and dads? And were they ever children and were they ever bad? Did they ever never spell right? Did they ever make mistakes? Were they punished in the corner if they pinched the chocolate flakes? Did they ever lose their hymn books? Did they ever leave their greens? Did they scribble on the desktops? Did they wear old dirty jeans? I'll follow one back home today. I'll find out what they do. Then I'll put it in a poem that they can read to you. So, let us see the explanation of the poem stanza wise now. Where do all the teachers go when it's 4 o'clock? Do they live in houses and do they wash their socks? So, this little child asks, where do all the teachers go when the school gets over at 4 o'clock in the evening? He is very curious to know कि क्या टीचर्स भी हमारे जैसे घर जाते हैं. Okay, do teachers also go to their own houses? Do they also live in houses just like any other ordinary person? And do they also wash their socks like everyone else? Now children, over here, washing socks means it is washing clothes and doing other household activities which generally all of us do. Okay, so this child has this question in mind that when school gets over, where do all the teachers go? Do they have a house to live in? Do they go to their houses? And when they reach their houses, do they also do all the household work like us, like we do when we are at home. Okay. The child wants to know whether teachers also perform the routine household works like we do. Do they wear pajamas and do they watch TV and do they pick their noses the same as you and me? So the child wants to know whether teachers also wear pajamas. Now, children, what are pajamas? Pajamas are loose trousers which are worn at home. They are very comfortable and they are your home clothes, like the things which you wear at home. Okay. Uh, so the child has this question in mind that when the teacher reaches home, do they do their own work, and like us, do they also wear the home clothes like that of pajamas? क्या वो भी पजामा पहन के घूमते हैं घर पे एंड अपने फ्री टाइम में टीवी देखते हैं? डू दे वॉच टीवी, that is television, in their free time? Okay. So the child is also curious to find out whether teachers also pick their noses. Now, children, you all know that picking nose, that is naak mein ungli dalna, is a very very bad habit, and we teachers always scold you children whenever we find you doing that. You are absolutely not supposed to do that, and please don't do that. But children, they will do it no matter how much we scold them. So this little child, he is very curious to know whether टीचर्स भी अपने नाक में उंगली डालते हैं कि नहीं. छी छी छी. Okay. So whether teachers also poke their nose just like everyone else and waste their time by doing so. So this little child, he, after all, he's a little child. Okay, he is not mature, and the questions that he is asking, see, these questions are, you know, of his level, what he thinks. It is only uh, related to his own world, what he does, the activities which children do. He is asking his teacher whether they also do the same activity. Do they live with other people? Have they mums and dads? And were they ever children and were they ever bad? So, this child already has a very different idea about his teacher. He thinks that his teacher is not an ordinary person. His teacher is not even human. The teacher is some kind of a superhuman being. Okay. So that is why he is very very interested, and he is keeping on asking very ordinary daily life questions which to him is very amusing, but actually those questions are very very normal and common. Okay, so he is asking whether the teacher in his house or in her house, they live with other people and do they also have parents. Okay, and the child also wants to know if the teachers as children, that is when teachers themselves were children, did they do any naughtiness or were they very mischievous when they were small, and did they commit any mistake or did anything wrong when they were small kids, when they were little, that is when the teachers were little, like the child himself, were they naughty? Did they do anything wrong? Did they do any naughtiness with others? The child is really interested to know everything. Okay. Did they ever never spell right? Did they ever make mistakes? Were they punished in the corner if they pinched the chocolate flakes? So, the child now wants to know if the teachers ever made spelling mistakes and any other mistakes when they were small. See, did they ever never spell right? So, children, we all make mistakes as children because childhood is such a stage that we are learning everything in childhood, and it is not only childhood but even when we are you know grown up, we keep on learning is a continuous process. That is why the child is saying that uh, like us, that is like children, did the teachers when they were children, जब वो छोटे थे, क्या वो भी स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स बाकी के दूसरे मिस्टेक्स करते थे when they were small, जब वो छोटे थे, हमारे जैसे, जैसा मिस्टेक अभी हम करते हैं स्पेलिंग्स में, वैसे मिस्टेक क्या टीचर्स भी करते थे जब वो छोटे थे. ओके, so this question the child asks the teacher. Okay, and he also asks whether they were punished in the corner if they pinched the chocolate flakes. That is, if they were punished in the school if they stole chocolates from others and did anything silly or did anything naughty. So whenever you do something wrong, we ask you to go and stand in the corner, face the wall, all sorts of things, right? So the child also faces all such punishments when he does mischief and naughtiness in the classroom. So that is what he is also asking, that were the teachers also punished like he is now when they were small and they used to steal chocolates and do other naughtiness and silly things in school. Did they ever lose their hymn books? Did they ever leave their greens? Did they scribble on the desktops? Did they wear old dirty jeans? So now children over here, did they ever lose their hymn books? Now hymn is basically it is some sort of a song which is dedicated to God. So hymn book is sort of a religious book which it's sort of a prayer book, you can say. So they had separate books for praying. So the innocent little child, he is also bothered to know if the teachers ever lost their religious books. He also wants to know if they refuse to eat green vegetables. So this child, he is very sweet, he's very cute, I would say. He is very tensed and worried if the teachers had also lost. He wants to find out if the teachers lost their religious prayer books, and when they were small, did they also revolt, protest, okay, and refuse to eat green vegetables? And none of the children I have seen till date in my life, they like green vegetables. They don't want to eat any green vegetables, for that matter any vegetables at all. Just give them junk food, pizza, burger, all that, they will be very happy, but green vegetables they will never eat. So this child also didn't like to eat, and he is asking whether the teacher was also like that. Now why is he asking all these questions related to naughtiness and not doing any work and stealing chocolates? Because he has this idea about the teacher, that a teacher is always very good, teacher always tells us to do the right thing, teacher can never be wrong, and teacher is like a god. He is a role model, टीचर को हमको फॉलो करना है. सो टीचर एकदम पैदाइशी अच्छा है. ओके, सो दे आर born good people. So that is what the child thinks. That is why he wants to know whether the teacher also ever did anything wrong in his life. Okay, did the teachers, when they were young, also waste time in school by scribbling on their tables? Now, scribbling on the tables, you people all have done it. When you sit on your desk, you cannot answer a question, you take your pen and you write on your desktops. You make all sorts of nonsense figures and drawings on the tabletops, and which is very very difficult to rub out. So you should never do that, right? So these children also used to do these things, and he is also asking whether the teacher also did this, right? And did they ever wear torn and old dirty jeans? So wearing torn old dirty jeans is also not a very nice thing to do. You should always be clean, and your dress should never be torn. So the child asks all kinds of questions that keep on coming to his mind. So this child is very innocent. He does not have any inhibitions. मतलब उसको कोई हिचकिचाहट नहीं है. He does not hesitate to ask whatever question comes to his mind, and he very clearly speaks his mind. एकदम मन की बात वो बोल देता है. Okay, is very very straightforward. I'll follow one back home today. So the child is saying, I have all these questions in my mind. I want to find out the answers to these questions. For which, what will I do? I will follow a teacher to his home today. Okay. So he said, I'll follow one back home today. I'll find out what they do. So he wants to follow a teacher to his home, and he will go to his house and find out what all things they do. And when he has already found answers to all his questions, he will write a poem. He will write all those things in his poem, and then they can read to you. That is, that poem which he will compose, that will he will show it to the teacher, and the teacher will read out the poem to all the students. So this is a very sweet poem. I found it very cute. It's a very easy one also, and hope you have understood this. So the thought is, see, it shows the cuteness, it's the purity, innocence, and curiosity. The dilemma. What is dilemma? It's a problem. Okay, it's a difficult situation a young mind has for his teachers. It also shows their expectations from teacher. वो क्या expect करते हैं? Teacher क्या करेगा? Teacher will never do anything wrong. Teacher will never do anything bad. Teacher is always good. Teacher always knows how to do the right thing. So all these things the child expects from the teacher, and in order to do so, he sometimes forgets that a teacher is also a normal human being. So in a way, the poet tries to, speak for the teachers, that it is also okay for the teachers to sometimes make mistakes, and later on say sorry for it, because they are also human beings. They are not someone different from the students. Okay, so with this we come to the end of this poem. The credit, I'll give the credit to, again, the website Success CDs for helping me making this video. And I have used the images from Google Photos. With that, I end my video here. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.